Hello, white people. It's time for it's story hour in Suzyville. Okay, so where I'm living right now in Southwest Ohio, they have tornadoes, and I am deathly afraid of tornadoes. I was a little nervous about tornadoes until I saw what they did, how badly they can hurt somebody. And I come from a place where there's earthquakes. No tornadoes, though. We have heavy winds. And anyway, so I'm driving. There's this really bad lightning storm, and I don't know if there's going to be a tornado that develops because it's pretty bad. And so I'm driving home from a meeting. It's dark. I don't really like driving in the dark, especially out in the middle of nowhere. There's no lights out here. And if you don't have your brights on, it's even really hard to see the lines in the road. It's that dark. So I'm driving and I'm keeping an eye on the lightning, the thunder and the lightning. And then all of a sudden it starts to rain. I'm getting rained on. Oh gosh, I have driven into the storm. Oh no. And I'm scared and I'm shaking. I know this is ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous now telling the story. So I pull over. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and so I pull over to this house, and there's a couple houses next to each other. They're large properties, and I go and I knock on the door. I knock on the door like 50 times because I'm scared. The rain is starting to pick up. I'm like, oh great, I've driven into a friggin' tornado. And so nobody answers the door. The dogs are barking. The weather's getting worse. I'm like, okay, if I stay out here and a tornado hits, what is going to happen? It's not going to be a good thing. I'd better go inside somewhere, seek shelter somewhere. And the last tornado that I drove through the aftermath, the people didn't get any kind of a warning whatsoever. None. Zip zero, none. And just as soon as a tornado was on top of them, they got notified by their cell phone. And this tornado took people's houses off its foundation. It took off walls. It took off roofs. It was ugly. And so I don't want to ever experience anything like that. So I'm going to do my best to stay as far away as possible. So nobody answers at this first house. There's a car in the driveway. All the lights are out. And then so I say, shit, you need to make an executive decision here. So I turn the light on my phone and I run over to the next house. And I knock on the door, and this older man answers the door. And I knocked on the door twice. I rang the doorbell a couple times before he came. It was this older guy who was a little bit crippled up. Obviously no threat to me. And I'm shaking because I'm scared of the tornado. I've seen what tornadoes can do. And he says, oh, come in, honey, come in. And then he says to me, you're safe here. I'm not any kind of a threat to you. Bless his heart. Oh my gosh. It just melted my heart when he said that. It was so cute. And so he had me come and sit in his living room with him. And he lost his wife in 2018. He doesn't go anywhere anymore, except for the grocery store. And he's got a couple of children. He's got a cleaning lady. That's about it. So I was like the highlight of his day. I felt stupid. I feel stupid right now, but like I said, scared of tornadoes. And he said, yeah, you did the right thing, thinking there might be a tornado. The weather has been very weird lately. So we visited for a while. He talked about, because I told him I like to do metal detecting, and so he talked about Oak Island, and he telling me where they are in Oak Island, and he said that's his favorite show. And he doesn't want anybody to call him or bother him when Oak Island is on. He's telling me about what they found. I don't know if any of it's genuine, but it was adorable. And then we watched Law and Order for a little while, and I kept an eye on the weather radar, and it seemed to be fine. And so I watched the radar, and it looked like I had an hour from his house to get to my house with no rain, no weather, no nothing. And I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. And mind you, my car is in the next property is over's driveway. And I'd asked him too. I said, do you have their phone number to call so that I can tell them that my car's in their driveway? He's like, oh no, they're probably at work or something. And anyway, so I go outside and there's the sheriff's car behind mine, and the homeowner, she's outside in her bathrobe. And so I come running and I said, that's my car. Dippy. You know, when you're middle-aged, you get away with being an idiot because everybody, I don't know, maybe people expect you to be stupid. But I come running and I have the light on my phone because it's pitch dark out there, except for the sheriff's vehicle lights. Anyway, so I just thank everybody for their kindness. And the officer, it was strange. I think before I even said what my concern was, why I'd pulled over in her driveway and why I'd sought shelter, he said, the storm has passed. The storm has passed. And I told him, I said, I'm so scared of tornadoes. And he's like, I understand. And then I asked him when we were, oh, wait a minute. I asked him what his name was. It's so funny. This guy must be new or something, a new deputy, because his name was Deputy blah, 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 blah. He gave his last name and some number. I'm like, okay. And I said, do you have a first name? And he told me his first name, but he had his chest all puffed out, and it was funny. And then I said, all right, honey, you're only going to rescue me one time tonight. What I need you to do is I need you to, if you wouldn't mind, pulling out and illuminating the road. Oh gosh, I'm terrible at backing up straight narrow driveways. I'm just the worst. Well, I can do it. I did it. I can go straight, but I don't know. In the dark, it's a little harder. Anyway, so he illuminated the street for me so I wouldn't land in the ditch. And when you're in Swampville, it's very swampy out here. The ditches are pretty deep. So I didn't land in a ditch, and I didn't get killed by a tornado. I didn't go through any tornado. I've never been through a tornado, but I've seen the aftermath of one. And people were so gracious, and I'm stupid, and it's embarrassing, but I was scared, and people were kind. I'm so blessed. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to your thoughts below.